act on this is more than wrong. Now you know we want it all.
Hello YouTube, what is going on? It is your boy GZTV, and man, we are back to rolling. We are here with another video of Dexter Original Sin. I cannot wait to get this series over because this shit just keeps getting better and better. We are here with the 8th episode. I don't know what it's called. We'll get to it when we get to the video, but yeah, man. Fan service is heavy, obviously, in this episode. Just kind of summarizing some things. Too many villains forced into the episode, to be fair. There are a little too many that they're kind of trying to squeeze in. There's too many different plots where it's like a normal guy that's kind of mysterious turns out to be a bad guy. They're definitely forcing that storyline a little too much. It definitely weakens the plot. I will say, I'm going to go ahead. I liked this episode. I like what they brought to the table. But I will say that there were some kind of things with villains and antagonists and too many like conflicts getting in the way of just the main storyline. Obviously the killer reveal is very weak after being heavily teased, but the shootout scene was awesome. I do think they kind of made up for that. Obviously at the beginning of the show when Nikki is in the basement of, well, we learn later on, I think that it's a stash house. Aaron Spencer reveals himself, rips the mask off, and it's one of the most anticlimactic killer reveals I've ever fucking seen. I mean, it is official now. He is revealed as the killer, but the way they did it was very fucking weird to me. Deborah's vulnerability over Gio is emotional and heartbreaking. I did like Deborah. I do like them giving her more of a spotlight in this episode. You know, she's really the heart of the episode. I think she's the best part of it, and you really feel bad for her. This is one of the first times in the series so far. I mean, I feel bad for Deborah. She's a very neglected female without a mother figure in her life, but this is the first time I truly like, oh my god, oh damn, like you really feel bad for this girl. And obviously this show is reaching the end of its first season with a jam-packed 8th episode as Dexter continues to suspect Aaron Spencer as being the masked kidnapper. He's obviously right with that. It's Dexter. He has a really good intuition for crime. That's how it goes. And obviously Harry and LaGuerta investigate their potential serial killer, so they're off doing kind of a separate crime, which is a little bit weird, but it's cool to kind of see Maria and Harry's relationship develop. And obviously Deborah finds out the hard way that Gio isn't the wonderful guy she thought he was. Again, just kind of summarizing, they're throwing a lot at us on the screen here. There's a lot to unpack in this first season, and thank God there's a second season because they're really going for it here. They're really trying to fucking stuff our faces. Pause.
What do you mean by that?
With as much story, as much prequel, as much origin material as fucking possible. But this episode was directed by Monica Raymond and written by Mary Lee Sutton. It aired on January 31st. Again, you can look at the episode schedule. Who really gives a fuck? It's on Paramount Plus, and it is called Business and Pleasure. And this show, I think, again, there is a weak point in this episode where it tries to juggle too many villains and fan service, and the result is very mixed, while still being an entertaining episode of television. I can't take that too seriously. Like, it's not like, oh, that fucking ruins everything. It's like, it's still a really good episode. Again, we are here to give one big conversation, and then I gotta go to bed. I'm already kind of late to the punch there. The fan service is a bit too heavy. I will say, I think they saw the reception of like some of the other characters getting hinted at, whether it be Hector Estrada, whether it be all these different characters. I can't remember who else, and just like hinting at the fact that Matthews might be brought back. They have like Miguel Prado making like a subtlety and all that stuff, and the episode kind of suffers from too many villains, and I really hope that's not how they're gonna close out the last 2 episodes because I don't know. I don't like them just throwing all these antagonizing and conflicting storylines. It's like, have a side thing, have a character kind of develop without them getting shit on. It's like, come on. I don't want Gio to become a villain, although he does. It's okay, but like, it's weird. Again, you get the usual cast. We'll get into that. The show had previously done a good job at balancing fan service with a compelling new story for Dexter Morgan, but it feels like this episode oversteps the mark somewhat, and that is the first time I can kind of say that about the series. They're doing a little too much. They're doing a little too much like nostalgia porn, if you know what I mean. Probably shouldn't say that on YouTube. It's fine. I'm not fucking cutting it out. The appearance of a young Miguel Prado felt totally irrelevant. It's cool, but I don't know. And purely put there to raise a smile from Legacy fans, but instead it's like a... You know what I mean? It's like, really? Do we have to have that in there? You guys are just fucking money grabbing. You guys are just trying to get people to really get fucking horny off of it. And I don't think it really worked for the most part with a lot of the diehard fans of the show. Yes, fans know something had happened between LaGuerta and Dexter's future kill partner, but it didn't need require his appearance. He didn't really need to be a part of this prequel at all. I mean, it's fine, but it's just one of those like kind of, it's not backhanded. It's kind of like those like very immature moments from a writer. This leads to the next problem with this episode, one of Dexter's best villains. The ice truck killer is unveiled as a suspect in the serial killer case being investigated by Harry Morgan and Maria LaGuerta, and it just feels a bit forced. Like, we know the ice truck killer is a thing. We already have a big bad in the season. Just fucking focus on that and maybe bring the ice truck killer a little bit into the next season instead of throwing literally one of the original series' huge villains into the brothel here. It doesn't make sense. It has the potential to derail an otherwise promising first season of the Dexter prequel. Like, something as little as this. I know it doesn't seem like a big deal, but something as little as this could really fuck things up, and I don't want that to happen. It was suggested that the man in the earlier episode was probably Brian Moser, but now it's been confirmed, and it was rather anticlimactic because it's like, okay, but like, I want to focus on the Aaron Spencer shit. We don't need to just fucking throw Brian Moser out there this early. Again, we know there's a second season. Maybe they didn't know that while they were filming. Maybe they didn't know that people were gonna like it as much as they did, but like, come on, man, really? Dexter will not properly come face to face with his brother for another 15 years, so it stretches credulity that he just happens to be in Miami killing people in the 90s. That doesn't make any sense. Harry knows about it. He's supposedly going to try and cover it up. Why? Why would you do this? You're not even really connected to that son as much as you are to Dexter. This episode has an embarrassment of villain riches with Miguel Prado, the ice truck killer, Gio's in here, Aaron Spencer, even Hector Estrada in the 1970s timeline, and it just makes the episode feel overstuffed with too much fan service at the expense of plot. And it's not like they're necessarily taking a lot of focus away from the main storyline. I do think they still focus on that to an extent, and I do think they still do it at a pretty high level and they do it well. It's just the prospect of it, just the idea that, hey, these guys might become involved in this series. It doesn't need to happen. The ice truck killer doesn't need to be involved. Gio doesn't need to be any more involved than he was right now with the relationship with Deborah. Cut him off. He can be done. We don't need to have Gio. Hector Estrada's fine. I think he's cool to kind of be in the background as a cartel guy. That's fine to keep in the 70s timeline. But Gio, the ice truck killer this early, Miguel Prado can be like a minor character too. That's okay, but it's just like, stop throwing so much shit at us. We got this in the original series. We have a whole nother season to talk about. Hell, we could even have 2 more seasons to talk about these guys. But I don't know if they're going to take the time to do that or just rush it right now. I don't know. The killer reveal is weak after it had already been heavily teased, but the shootout was a standout moment again, like I said earlier. And it's like they try to reveal he takes his mask off and they try to market it and they try to film it as like this huge moment. It's like, we already know Aaron Spencer is the killer. You don't have to put that scene in the show. The highlight of this episode is the epic shootout during Miami Metro's raid on the house of a lead, the kidnapper's case. Patrick Dempsey is officially unveiled as the big bad of the first season, of course, but it felt unnecessary after it was already spelled out to the audience last episode. I mean, having said that, there's enough intrigue to keep the storyline going with 2 more episodes to go. They're just gonna have to close it out well, and again, they're gonna have to close it out without getting those dumbass other villains involved. I don't want that. But there's clearly a lot more going on, and Dexter is firmly on the case despite the distractions he faces with his troubled teenage sister Deborah. You know, he's kind of got to be there for her. She's really going through a lot of shit in her fucking life, and he's got to try to be there for her. But he's trying to balance his internship here at Miami Metro. He's even being a fucking freelancer, damn near detective like he does in the normal show. He's got to balance all of that out, and he's very new to it, so it's very interesting to see Patrick Gibson kind of play this character and kind of move forward with that. Just like she was in the original Dexter series, Deborah is the heart and soul of this show, and in this episode, her tough exterior masks her vulnerability for only so long, and her meltdown over Gio is both emotional and heartbreaking. Molly Brown keeps nailing the character. Again, the casting is done so fucking well in this show. I cannot stress it enough. This is one of the best cast shows we've seen. I mean, my god, it's great. And again, man, Deborah just being such a huge character of the show when you wouldn't really expect her to. And obviously, if you watch the original series, you kind of would, but like, with everything that's on the table, with everything you have to get caught up on to get to the original series, you didn't really expect Deborah to be this involved and have this crazy of a storyline. But at the same time, obviously, introducing Gio as a bad guy is kind of dumb, because he seemed like a sweetheart at first. Why don't you just let that brew a little bit longer while Aaron Spencer and that whole big storyline is getting solved? I don't know, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but I'm not going to change my thoughts on the episode because of it. I still think it's a really good episode. The television, I think it was still pretty good. Again, not as good as some of the other episodes we've seen in the series, but it's not bad. Once again, we are here with a massive review, kind of like a general thoughts at the end of the video. I do kind of go over the plot and give some of my thoughts in there, but here I really wanted to talk about it. Again, just kind of discussing the 3 main things we can talk about. I don't want to talk about the fan service thing anymore. I feel like I'm kind of already sounding nitpicky. I think you guys get the point with that already. It could negatively impact the finale, sure, but I don't know. I have faith in Clyde Phillips and the guys. I think they could really get this done. Again, I like Deborah's moment with Gio. Again, just the genuine emotionalness, genuine heartbreakingness of the fact that she is losing everything. She's lost her scholarship, all of her friends, his boyfriend she thought it was legit, and she actually found out that he has a fiance and all these different things. There's a lot of good stuff in here. There's some humor. It's not bad either. Like, you know, they try to mix a little bit of humor in there with that. There you have it. Aaron Spencer, he butchers some aspects. You know, they're doing the shootout, and then after that he's throwing a fucking fit, trying to oversell the fact that he's not the killer. Why would he be the killer? He's got an alibi. He works for fucking Miami Metro. He's trying to find people that do this, and like he's overselling it by like breaking shit and throwing a fucking temper tantrum. And it's like, okay, we get it. You're trying to cover up the fact that you're a serial killer. Let's not over fucking do it, because that just makes your character annoying, and it's kind of spitting in the audience's face. I don't know. I don't really have a lot to say. I know these reviews seem a little bit scattered, but I fucking try, man. But on that note, I'm out, guys. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. As always, it has been your boy GZTV. I have a lot of plans for this channel for the future. We aren't even close to watching all the movies I want to watch, all the TV shows I want to watch. I've gotten great recommendations over the last couple of years of me doing this channel and all that stuff. I really appreciate your guys' support. Keep going crazy on them shorts. You guys are fucking killing it. Follow the other socials. I'll post them right now, and then we can kind of end the video.